afternoon, whatever time of day it is that you are listening, folks. Thank you very, very much for listening. Day today is the 22nd of March, year of our Lord 2024. Welcome to yet another edition of the Coping Hour, hosted by Nicholas Hinkle, a.k.a. Motown Noah. Got a medium show for you guys today in a very, very weird spot. Actually recording this a day early, Friday morning, usually when I record. Got like doctor's appointments and shit that we got to do. So getting this one in the can early, and the reason why maybe it'll be a little bit medium of an episode, the real reason, if I can be transparent with you guys, it's happening. It is starting to happen. I can already tell. Just like 2 weeks removed from me letting all of you know that we're about to be parents and that she's on the sort of home stretch of this pregnancy. I have not brought this up to her yet directly because I don't want to scare her. Just the psychology of it. Like, of course, we know what the end goal here is, but going through it is a lot. But she's definitely starting to nest. It's definitely happening. It kind of clicked the other night. And I was kind of writing it off in my head. I'm like, well, no, we're just being very proactive because we just moved and we want to get everything unpacked in a timely manner. Yeah, it's not that, though. It's not just that. We knew that he was going to be early. It was a vibes thing. We've been saying it the whole time. Like, he is going to be early. And for some reason, we thought we had more time. She's at 34 weeks. Doctors typically don't want you going past 40. As of like 2 weeks ago, you kind of crossed this threshold where if he is born today, he would be okay. So we're at that point now. Hey, we're past it. It's like he could be born today and be fine. He'll be all right. We're getting there. There's a problem with this on the content end of things, and I know you guys are going to be like, dude, it's not that big of a deal. It's not a big deal, but I like to be consistent with this stuff, and I don't want to I don't want to break any consistency that we've had with this show, but because of how quickly all of this came up, and it sort of being right in the middle of us moving, I just haven't had time to record anything to sort of bank for paternity leave. I just haven't. So if there's a day where there's like no communication at all, it's not even a community post, and the show is just not there, that means that we had a child. And I'm a little busy and I can't come to the phone right now. And here's the crazy part is, dude, it could be another 4 weeks. Like, it really could. But if once it, between today and whenever it does officially happen, I can look back and be like, that was kind of the week when it was like, okay, it's about to happen. Like, we're there. My piece of advice on the fly as we're experiencing this to anybody who is in the middle of a pregnancy right now, maybe on the front nine of it, maybe in the first trimester, a little bit behind us, whatever it is, whenever your due date is, prep to be ready like a month earlier than that. Like, if your due date is May 1st, by April 1st, like, make sure that you got your ducks in a row. You know what I mean? Because otherwise you end up like us and you're just kind of scrambling, like, frantically. And we're going to be fine and, we'll make it work. But I got a lot on my mind lately. Is what it comes down to. So much so that I got to be honest with you guys, this entire week, I hardly even have like a, have you seen this? Have you heard about this? I don't have that many sports related things to talk about. I've just been on 11 the whole time. I did kind of go in two separate mediums on a rant about LeBron starting a podcast and how I think that's the end of culture. I think it's over. And I think maybe it would be good to do a spiel on that in this episode. I'm finding this to be just honestly be therapeutic more than anything. I'm very overwhelmed. And I see this the other day that, so Uninterrupted is going to be producing this like JJ LeBron pod, and you're like, oh, wow. You're like, okay. But my thing is this, man, is it's like the narrative is about you. If you're LeBron James, it just is. For 20 years, the narrative has been about you. And for him to insert himself in the narrative where he will then, it's something, I'm not saying like dudes can't control their own narrative, but it's like, dog, you sort of dictate the way that we talk about things and that we even consume things at this point, and for him to, honestly, it's just cultural appropriation. If I can be for real about it, if LeBron wants to like start a blog on the side, start a subreddit for this podcast or something, like that's cool. But you don't see me picking up a basketball. You know what I mean? Taking food out of my family's mouth because you want to get your shit off about like a hammer play, about like a Spain pick and roll. You got some fucking thoughts on that to fill 45 minutes? Okay. All right. The podcast like industry, the market is a bubble and it burst. That's what just happened. I'm so for real. I don't know. I don't like if we can in 10 years when we kind of look back at the same way we look at blogs now, like they're around, but it's not the town square. It's not the digital town square. It's not where people, consume their information. And that's ultimately what this feels like, is it feels like the fucking basketball CIA running a psyop, a digital psyop on its own citizens. But like through virtue of LeBron James. That's what he's doing. We can make fun of Michael Jordan for kind of going ghost for like 20 years publicly. And then a whole generation goes by and people just kind of weren't there for Michael. They just didn't know, but they had a large voice, within the public sphere. And what do? They released The Last Dance. Like the most brilliantly executed propaganda piece ESPN has ever put out, that ESPN has ever produced, period. So he waited 20 years to sort of manipulate the narrative in his own way, right? Put his own spin on it. LeBron is just kind of doing it in real time on the fly. It's literally 1984, which, by the way, was the year that LeBron was born. What's that? If it barks like a dog, it probably is. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not on board with it at all. I don't care if the podcast rules. It might. And you know what it is? Ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm not here for X's and O's. I'm not. I'm here for narratives. I'm here for like entertainment. And to me, it is not to discredit anybody who, is sort of driven in that more analytical way. That's cool. I don't care though. So even if the show is good, it's like, well, all anybody's going to talk, the amount of content and shit that this is going to generate, like, please let this just be a miniseries. I do not believe that LeBron James is going to get together weekly with JJ Redick to record this fucking show. He's not. Or are they going to bank like 6 episodes in a day? They're not. There's no fucking way. So if it's going to end up being like The Shop, where it's like, I don't know, they kind of release like 4 or 5 episodes at a time and like every like 6 months or something, okay, cool. But the day you see LeBron sitting in front of like a Shure microphone, nice little SM7B or whatever the fuck, right? It's over. It's a wrap. Roll the credits on culture. Not on board with it. Not happy about it. I think that's kind of all I saw this week. You know what else I saw? Here's something. I guess somebody asked Donald Trump, they're like, hey, I was thinking about the Royals, right? The royal family. I don't know how up to date all of you are on the whole Kate Middleton drama. My thing is this, and we'll get to the thing. I didn't just bring up Trump for no reason. Hold on. Stay with me. So basically, Kate goes in for abdominal surgery in like January, and the palace is like, hey, she's going in for abdominal surgery, but that's all we're going to tell you. And you'll probably see her again around like Easter. She's going to need like 2 months to heal. It's like, well, that makes sense. People are like, oh, it doesn't take me that long to heal. It's like, well, usually you should, after a procedure, heal for a while. It's just, we don't have unlimited sick days with like a fictional job the way that she does. So she's able to take that time. It's whatever. It is what it is. And then she's just like not seen in the public for a really long time. And people are like conspiring that she has been like abducted or that there's some nefarious shit going on in the background. And then it does get a little bit weird because you would think at least the publications that like are, puff pieces for the crown, they're like mouthpieces and shit. You would think at least they would be like, they would pump out some shit about like, oh, William taking the kids to school. Like he's on dad duty for the day, taking the kids to school. Or like George making pancakes for his mom while she's in bed. Like nothing like that. There was nothing even like that. Like, oh, okay, that's weird. The truth is I don't care about it at all because I honestly think she's just sick. I don't know. But then there's all this shit about like, well, William was cheating on her and maybe she's sort of had some behind the scenes disconnect from the family. And so they're just trying to, I don't know. I bring all that up just to say, someone asked Trump about Prince Harry and they're like, would you deport him if you got reelected? Trump was like, I don't know. I'll think about it. And that indifference, honestly, is hilarious. When it comes to the life of this man and his status as a citizen in America, I don't know if he's a citizen. There's no way he fucking is. There's literally no way he is. No. Though, could someone like him get that? He wouldn't want to be a citizen. Well, he probably can't be. Actually. Well, he doesn't care about his royal title. You guys don't even care about the royals. I care about the royals, so I can fucking talk about them if I want. It's one of those days, folks. Let's move on. copingoursubs@gmail.com is the email. If you want to send something into the show, get it read on the air. The email will be available in the description wherever it is that you listen to this show. Email coming into us from Colin. Subject line, are we scouting prospects too young? Hey, Noah. Hold on, there's a big intro here. Before my question, I wanted to let you know, thank you. I feel like there are kids every year, ranging from middle school to early high school, who we look at and pieces are made saying that they're the next KD or Steph Curry, etc., when they are actually just kids playing a sport primarily for fun. I think about Mikey Williams, Amani Bates, Julian Newman, and more kids who are hyped up to be the next ones up, and now, ever since not living up to the hype, they are heavily scrutinized and mocked. I can't imagine the serious mental health consequences of this, and I was just wondering if there's anything that we could do to stop this, or is the publicity worth it, even if it later backfires massively? Colin, welcome to the show, and thank you for the email. I don't think this is an issue about scouting kids too young. I don't think it's about that. I think it's the language that we use to talk about them, right? I think I brought something up a couple months ago on the show. I was scrolling on YouTube and I saw a community post from like NFL on ESPN or Bleacher Report, one of those publications, and they were doing a mock draft, and it's all these scouts talking about all these different players. And one of these guys was talking about Drake May, and he's like, yeah, his arm is like if you put like Drew Brees and Justin Herbert and Tavares Jackson and like all these different, like Phillip Rivers, all into one guy, and you're like, huh? All of them? Drake May is like all of those guys. So this guy should be like why is he not going number one then? You know what I mean? Why is this guy like maybe going third and like maybe the fourth quarterback drafted? Probably going to end up being like second or third though, right? So he can't be all of those. He can't be all of those things. And you see it in the draft every year too. It's like they talk about, but that's even the craziest thing about this upcoming draft that we have is they're for real with the player comps. Like in the top 5, there'll be a guy where they're like, hey, he's like Andre Iguodala. It's like, really? All right. If that's who I'm drafting at 5, like, is there like is there like a LeBron James in this class or something? Because every year they like to throw those around, especially now. Although I can't say that. That's not fair of me to say that because Zion, the attention that came with him, it was probably the closest thing that we had since LeBron, honestly, with people, the way that people followed him, especially throughout high school. He had been around for a while. With Victor, labeling him a generational talent, well, that just makes complete sense. So I just basically lied about something for no reason, at the sake of trying to get a joke off. I don't think it's about them being too young. I don't think it is. But here's my thing, because what was the problem with Mikey Williams? Which one, actually did something illegal? Didn't one of them, actually commit a crime? Was it a kid at, St. Vincent? Not St. Vincent, same area. Sierra Canyon? Wasn't it one of those kids? Somebody did something actually illegal. I don't remember who it was. Also, Julian Newman he's not even real. That kid's not a basketball player. That doesn't fucking count. The fucker with the hair, the TikTok hooper, that kid's not a real basketball player. That shit does not count. I don't know what happened to him, but fuck that kid. I don't care. Amani Bates also kind of doesn't count because that was his dad. That was his dad that was making him do all this dumb shit, right? He also, I tell you what. Here's how I really know if you were around. 6 years ago, if we were talking about who was up next, it was not Zion, dude. It was Amani Bates. The way that people talked about Amani Bates, you would have thought this kid was going to be LeBron. It was insane. And I also had the benefit of having the perspective of somebody who was living in Michigan at the time, when he was really coming up. I knew what was going on, right? Eventually, and then he decommitted from Michigan State, and that was a tough day. That was a really tough day. Goes to Memphis. Oh, okay, have fun with that. Okay, cool. What happened after a year at Memphis? Oh, Eastern? Oh, wow. That sucks. Doing really well in the G League, though, from what I've seen. Good question. Let's move on. Figured it was time for an email that was a lighter lift for me. really turn my brain off, just do a quick little mental exercise. I think we'll all be better off. Really get the gears spinning. This one comes into us from Griffin. Subject line, Griffin, welcome to the show. Subject line, Grizzly Bear versus Silverback Gorilla. Email here. Do you have an opinion on the Grizzly Bear versus Silverback Gorilla fight to the death debate? I wrote a college essay on it. Feel free to read for context. I will not be doing that, but thank you for including it. This nice untitled PDF. Not expecting this to be on the podcast. Well, it is, but from your videos, if I were to guess, you would be a Grizzly Bear supporter. Wrong. Record scratch, freeze frame. Griffin's wondering how he got here. No, I'd go for the gorilla 100%. But it's not really a disrespect thing to bears, because it's honestly, dude, it's an admiration of what a gorilla is capable of, what they're able to achieve. I was one of those people, you go your whole life not really seeing big gorillas at the zoo. And then one day you do, and it just kind of changes you a little bit as a man. I was one of those people my whole life. Oh, I could kick the shit out of a monkey. Are you kidding me? Fuck out of here. It's a monkey. I'm a man. I'm going to kick this thing's ass. We first moved to... We hadn't even moved to Chicago yet. We were just coming here. We were just visiting. We go to the zoo. Oh, my God. They got a gorilla enclosure. Oh, my God. We got to go check it out. First thing we did. Soon as we rolled up. Hell no. You can't fight those things. And it's a grizzly bear, though. I'm not the one fighting it, right? That's not the question. It's a grizzly bear that's fighting him. Hell no. I've seen The Revenant, man. I've seen what a bear can do, right? I've watched the Werner Herzog documentary where he listens to the tape and he's like, you could never listen to this again. I was about to do a Werner Herzog voice. I don't think it's in me. Dog, and also as somebody who's I'm the poster child of the Planet of the Apes trilogy that came out in the 2010s. It's probably the best trilogy of the modern era, honestly. I love monkeys. I love gorillas. They're kicking everybody's. Those motherfuckers are so strong, right? And I can't really talk about them on the level that Rogan can. Nothing crazy. But I know that there are some that live in, I don't know where, some jungles. And they just eat each other. It's just what they do. Huh? A lot of details I'm leaving out. I don't want to be too grotesque. Maybe people have to turn it off. I'll leave them out. These monkeys are incredible. They're so intuitive. I tell you what, you watch some of these survivalist videos of motherfuckers going into the Amazon. You think that oh yeah, the jungle, it's scary, it's dangerous. No. It's 10 times scary and dangerous. Those words they don't even clock for the Amazon, for the jungle, the real capital J jungles out there. You know what I mean? The fuck? The shit they got to deal with constantly. The conditions, it's always wet. You just can't light a fire. You just can't. Wrong. Can't do it. They come back. They're like, yeah, I conjured this disease that nobody's heard of since the 1700s. I guess it's just in the Amazon. Oh, okay. All right, cool. They have 19 infections. 3 of them are in their eyes. Oh, okay. The fuck? Oh, and then in the middle of all that and all the infection and all the fucking water, there's gorillas and snakes and shit. Panthers, jaguars. Huh? Oh, and guess what? You can't see any of them ever. It's dark most of the time. Oh, okay. All right, cool. Whatever. The hell? You think I'm going in the jungle? No. I'd rather be in the wilderness, and I'd say there's a difference. There's a stark difference between the jungle and the wilderness, because in the wilderness is where you'll run into a bear. I've watched plenty. I tell you what, though, a video that I've seen, pretty famous. Hey, if you're just on the internet, you've seen this video before, of that dude who's on a mountain bike, just on a trail. He's got a GoPro on. Out of nowhere, this bear just charges him, and he has to out pedal a fucking bear. Huh? Hell no. No. I'm getting off the bike and I'm rolling over. It's over. It's if that was the moment that I've been chosen, then I've been chosen. If this is Darwinism, then so be it. Fuck me for being out in the wilderness on a bike. Honestly, I'm in his dojo. That's on me, son. I'm sorry. Bon appetit. A gorilla? Because I would at least, with a bear, it's very primal, which is ironic that I wouldn't be saying that about the gorilla. I'm sorry. Well, no, it would be more primal with the gorilla, where I would feel like I have a chance because he's got hands and shit, and we're kind of putting him up, put him. You know what I mean? With a bear, it's just an animal. It's just an animal. It's not a person. It's an animal. So I'd be more scared. It's got like scary teeth and shit. Although gorillas, man, they got teeth too. See, good mental exercise, Griffin. Thank you for this. I needed this. I feel like I'm thinking quick on my feet. Let's move on. Quicker episode for you guys today. I apologize for it. Again, man, everything's just, it's moving. And I think I'm definitely at a point where I think I need to let it out a little bit. I'm not on camera, of course. Not on camera. I'm not going to cry on camera. Unless, like, the Pistons win the lottery again. Even then, oh, my God. Oh, wow, what a year to win the lottery. Oh, wow. Impressed. Thank you, Mark Tatum. Thank you for this. Wow. It's useless. But I think I do need to. I'm so tightly wound. I'm going through a lot, and we're doing everything we can, ma'am. Every day, like, she'll come home from work, or, you know, even she got a day off, like, whatever it is, like, we're just doing stuff constantly, trying to make sure that everything's ready for him, and for ourselves too, right? And we've had some real conversations, dude. Like, this is scary. This is really scary, but we're only happy. We're just moving at 1,000 miles an hour all the time, and it sucks because it's not one of those things where it's like, well, you know, once we just got to get there. Once we get to the end, things will slow down. It's like the end is having a child. The end is like the baby is born, and you know, you talk about things that I'm able to identify now that, you know, 2 weeks ago I wouldn't have been able to. I can look back at the freedom that I had even 2 weeks ago, like, marginal shit, but like I can already start to feel like, oh wow, like my life is just about to be so much different. Our lives are about to be so much different because of this little beautiful baby boy, you know. And the amount of, to use the word responsibility again, that I'm about to feel that I've just never felt before. We talked the other day about how, like, honestly, smoking weed kind of just wasn't that much fun the other night, the first time doing it in however long. Because, like, I have just real shit going on. And when in the past, like, I, at the end of the day, didn't have anything to do. Like, there weren't really any external pressures or anything. It's like, fucking, I can just feel lazy for a little bit. Who cares? Like, I'm just having fun. If I do it now, it's like, dude, you have so many responsibilities right now. Like, you need to be doing something. No matter what it is, like, you just have to be doing something productive. And that's a feeling that, as dumb as it's going to sound, I've just never felt it to this extent in my life before. I've never felt so much pressure, and I'm sure she's the same way if I asked her. The weight of everything has been very overwhelming. And, you know, we are actually going back to Michigan this weekend. We've been together for 10 years, and our families have never met. Our parents have never met. We think that's weird, and we don't like it. So we're coming home, and everyone is having dinner. Our parents are having dinner. It's like, but it's just causing us more anxiety than it needs to, because there's the pressure of, like, it's weird that it has been this long, and they just haven't. And the pressure of, like, I'm being so for real, man. Like, I'm worried that it's almost a 4-hour ride in the car to get there, and then to come back, it's another 4 hours, right? It's 8 hours in the car this weekend. And I'm like, what if it happens? You know, I truly feel like, again, dude, we said he was going to be early. It could still be 4 weeks. It could. But we're getting there. And every time we go to the doctor, which the last few weeks has been a lot, they keep checking him, and what his positioning is, he's starting to position in a way that he's about to come out. Like, his head is going down, which is good. It means he's doing what he's supposed to do. This is all good news. It just accelerates this timeline that you had in your head, that you just are like, holy shit, I thought, like, I needed to be, like, prepped for this. Like, we don't know what we're doing. We don't know. But that's kind of the joy of it. That's kind of the fun part, is, like, figuring out. And like I said at the beginning, dude, I think I said this. the way that it humanizes your parents. The way that you're able to be like, dude, you spend your, until you have a kid, right? You spend your entire life like mad at certain things that they did, and even if, you go through fucking therapy, you get over it enough, you sort of reflect on it enough, and you get over it and you forgive them, like whatever. This experience just really allows you to look at them through a different lens, and you're like, dude, you didn't know. You didn't know. All you knew was what your parents had taught you in the past, right? And it's like, you just try to break certain cycles or whatever it is, carry on certain things. Like, it's a lot. And we do have his outfit picked out for him the day that he's coming home. We're very excited for that. I think we're just set on a name. I think we're good there. I think I'll wait. I'll just wait until it actually happens. But everything looks good. Everything looks good, man. I'm hoping that I can just one day, man. I just need a day, man. I just need one day. Imagine how she feels. And imagine how she feels. Because she's the one actually carrying him. She's the one who every 30 minutes, she's like, oh my God. Like, God damn. There's just a different pain. There's something else going on, She's also just like at work doing this, like at an actual job doing all of this. And thank God they're actually good at her job with maternity leave. Thank God, right? My paternity leave isn't even real. We were talking the other day about a push present. Became hip to that. Thought it was fake. Nope. Push present is a real thing. Asked her what she wanted. We're not sure yet. We're putting a pin in it. Not sure what she's going to want. I was going to be like, we should get a new TV, but that feels like it's more for me. It's for both of us. But it's not. I don't know. What does she want? An iPad? We have an iPad. What do you want, a little thing so you can sketch in the iPad? We have one of them. You just don't use it. So I don't know what she's going to want. Just trying to go over in my head everything that I've learned in the last 2 weeks, man. I love you all very much. I'm sorry this was a shorter and I'm not sorry about this being a more deeply personal episode, but I'm sorry that it affected the show. And I think maybe in recent weeks it has, honestly. And I hope that hasn't reflected too much. I'm sure it has a little bit. I just ask, for a little bit of grace. Because this is making me feel a lot of things. And I love you all very much. If you're listening to this on Spotify, be sure to rate 5 stars. If you are watching this on YouTube, leave a like. Subscribe. Nice little comment for the algorithm. I will catch you guys.
Computers now
in the
have primary control.
Beautiful.
Primary control.
Beautiful.
Primary control.
Beautiful.
Primary control.
Beautiful.